Right, so the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren press conference happened, and it was everything we expected. It was just as cringy as we all expected. Jake Paul literally started the press conference by going out and thanking an empty crowd for coming. Literally, he walked out onto the stage and said, thanked everybody for coming, but nobody was there. Nobody was allowed to be there. So he walked out and thanked like an empty crowd. That is it. What else would we expect from Jake Paul other than that?
Doing good. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you guys. I'm good.
He then basically moved on to claim he was representing the whole world of boxing, which, let's be honest, is not. Unless you're, under the ages of 10, you probably realise that he's not a good boxer. It takes years and dedication and, a life full of dedication to become a good boxer and a world-renowned boxing athlete. Not just someone that did YouTube and did probably the most forgettable show on Disney, and then decides, I'm going to move over to boxing because, let's be honest, it's going to pay me really well. That's the only reason he moved over. He probably doesn't, he didn't move over for the love of boxing. He hasn't been boxing for the last 15, 20 years like most other boxers. He just wanted the paycheck, basically, which, kind of can't fault him for that. People want to get paid, and that's that. So yeah, after claiming to be representing boxing as a whole, he then basically spent the rest of the press conference, trying to intimidate Ben, which, let's be honest, is it going to work? You've got Jake, like I said, a YouTube kid that was on, did a show on Disney and all this compared, and at the other side of the stage, you've got Ben. He spent his life training as a fighter. He's a very competent fighter as well. He was a Olympic wrestler, in the UFC, MMA. I know his UFC career didn't exactly go to plan, but he's still a very competent fighter, and I think he's had 21 professional bouts, and he's won 19 of them, lost 2. That's a very good record as well. So you've kind of, you know what I mean? You've got opposite ends of the spectrum, and you've got this kid trying to intimidate this seasoned fighter, and it just didn't work, and it was never going to work. Like I said, if you're above the ages of 10, you probably realise that Jake Paul's not this boxer he claims to be, and he's not a good boxer. And the reason he's picking MMA fighters as well and certain MMA fighters like Ben, is because of they haven't got the best boxing ability. Ben is not known for his striking ability. Ben was known in the MMA world as one of the best wrestlers and a really good wrestler. When you put him again in a boxing ring, you're taking his best features away. You know what I mean? And what he's probably trained the most on. But obviously Ben knows what he's stepping into. Ben wants the payday as well, let's be honest. But yeah, he literally spent the full interview trying to intimidate Ben, which wasn't going to happen. And once Jake realised that he can't really intimidate him, he came up with the idea to basically use Masvidal to intimidate Ben, which quite a good idea, but once again didn't work, because I imagine one of the things you've probably got to learn as a fighting professional, someone that does this for a living, is you've got to learn to move on past your losses, which you could tell he probably had done, because for those of you who didn't watch the interview, Jake basically FaceTimed Masvidal and was kind of showing him to Ben, and Ben was just sat there. You could tell he wasn't bothered, he wasn't intimidated.
Your dad calling in.
Stuff that's made it successful.
It's your dad calling in. Look.
He's still alive?
He's still alive, bro. I'm about to take him out. Hey, he's still alive. Don't worry, I'm gonna finish him off. Yeah, don't worry.
Tell him I like them flip flops, man.
He said he likes your flip flops.
But like I said, Jake was trying everything to intimidate Ben, and it wasn't really working. So after he tried to, FaceTime Masvidal, well, I struggle to pronounce his name. Anyway, after he tried to FaceTime Masvidal, he then moved on to basically showing Ben videos of him getting knocked out. Well, the video of him getting knocked out, which, once again, the guy's probably seen 1,000,000 times. I think he even said, I've seen that, numerous times. It's probably been tweeted to him so many times. His coaching staff have probably made him watch it and everything. It's once again, you could just tell he wasn't affected by it, and he knew what Jake was trying to do, and he just kind of countered it very well.
So this clip doesn't bother you?
I've only seen it like 1,000,000 times. Doesn't bother me.
Bother you?
No.
Are you sure?
Sure.
What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to throw knees in boxing, Jake.
Well, they're gonna knock you out.
And obviously, to end the press conference off, they did a bit of a face-off and all this, which was all well and good. And as they stood face to face, basically Ben turned away and put his palm on Jake's face, kind of just pointing out that he's irrelevant or whatever he was doing. Which then Jake threw a punch, like a sucker punch into Ben's ribs, and you could just tell it didn't even hurt Ben. Now I'm not saying it was Jake's hardest punch or anything. You could tell it wasn't a full-on punch. And then pushed him, which once again Ben wasn't affected, which I think probably had a bigger effect on Jake Paul than it would have on Ben. The mind games of Jake's kind of like, oh shit, this guy can take a punch. This guy's been training to take a punch. Nate Robinson hasn't. Nate Robinson couldn't take a punch. So that probably played an effect on Jake. But yeah, that was the full press conference really. You don't have to waste the full time watching it now. I broke it down for you, and to be honest with you, it was so cringy, man. Like I said, a lot of the cringe came from Jake Paul, trying to intimidate and a seasoned professional fighter in Ben Askren. But yeah, I don't know. I think 95% of the people that are going to buy this fight or watch this fight are hoping Jake gets basically knocked out or suffers a loss, and that's the end of his fighting career. That sounds really harsh, but I think that's what a lot of people are hoping for. And the other 5% are under the ages of 10. So yeah, but that is going to be the end of the video. If you have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, as it helps out massively. And if you do want to see some similar videos, please subscribe to the channel. But until next time, hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.